Alright guys, Supreme Kami here, and today I am going to be attempting to take all three of the new weapons. So we have a Zeke's weapon, we have a Liu Ho's, and then we have Yulan's weapon. So I'm going to see if I can even beat any event with this team. On paper, I think it looks really good because all 3.0 characters, they are, seemingly able to, it's pretty compatible. You can kind of toss it in any team, they look great, especially with Zeke offering that flame resident. I think it looks spectacular, right? So Liu is definitely going to be the one that's going to be doing main damage, 6 stars, right? Looks pretty good. Zeke's going to be providing support, and Yulan's going to be providing support. So I think it looks great, right? So let's kind of check out the, I guess it's kind of starting off with the matrixy. So as far as the fundamental of how the whole rotation works is not gonna matter a whole lot based on what matrixy that I have. I'm just using these based on what I personally have. So yeah, so these are what I'm using. So they are a little bit crazy, I will have to admit, but like I said, again, the fundamental of how the rotation works, what you got to do with them, they are pretty much staying the same. So I don't think that aspect is not going to change. So we have that. As far as the traits, we will be using Zeke because we do need to get our physical stat on par, because with what he's able to do, he can provide that as well. So right here, 4,000. Yeah, I can get whichever high stat that matches to the physical. So flame being my highest one, so that's gonna get that matching, so that's great. Last but not least, the as far as the the gears, I am gonna be using strictly what I have for my flame team because I just need something that's good. So 40,000 is actually just a little bit more because we are in domain 9, so I think we should be roughly about 30-ish thousand, so not that bad. So I'm gonna show you guys the rotation first, and then we can hop into some events and see how this team works. Alright, so here's a quick glimpse of the rotation. So starting out with a Zeke skill, and then after pop that, we will hop into a quick discharge. I like, or not discharge, dash attack. I like doing 2 dash attack, and then after that, we will go into Yulan. At this point in time, you don't really need to do any normal attack. You immediately go into a little hall, pop the skill, do the quick normal attack and dash attack. At this point in time, we will continue on with this until we kind of charges with the weapon charges, and then we'll hop into Yulan. Discharge, for this one we will fully do the discharge because we do gain the weapon charge and then do the skills. For Zeke, we will skip the discharge, so we would jump cancel that discharge, but we will activate the skills, dodge attack, and then for Liu Ho, we will go back into discharging with her as well because she does, I believe, her discharge does give additional flame damage or attack as well. I forgot which one was it, but she does give that as well, so that's why it is pretty mandatory to discharge into her. And after that, the whole rotation pretty much recycles itself. So now we can actually jump into some events. Joint operation it is. So this is the only, you can say, an event that I feel like is good where I can solo this, because I tried hopping into the join, or not the join, Void Abyss. I tried taking on like a stage where I had advantage for physical and flame, but I was fighting Rudolph, and Rudolph is so ruthless that it emits those heat. I think it's flame damage. So I was just instantly got one shots. And this team, there isn't really a way to instantly heal. Just so unfortunate. Until you get higher star investment, you get survivability, which this team, what I'm using right now, does not have that, because except for Liu Ho 6-star, other than that, every, like, Zeke is 0-star, Yulan is 1-star. They can't do much, so it's kind of unfortunate. I also tried Origin of War. I was trying to do stage 23. That didn't work out too much either because of the, just the gimmicks of that specific stage was just too much for me. So that's why joint operation was the best. So in this context, it doesn't really show you the damage potential because we were guaranteed to beat it, just because joint operation isn't really the hardest thing ever. I just don't like this stage specifically because Weaver is kind of annoying. You can't really just infinitely kill it. It kind of stalls you for a little bit. That in between phase, die or just disappearing on the map. So I don't particularly like it, but we did finish it. So up next, I do have a quick challenge raid, kind of like a perspective for you guys. So in this perspective, you guys will see the damage potential of this team. So you guys saw that makes you see that I was using my stats, what I was using. So you might think this team, yeah, it's gonna be really good, should be doing a lot of damage, but if we are fighting alongside with some of your whales, it may not be. So as far as the damage where we play so far, we are in fourth, so it looks pretty good, but we're not really contributing the biggest damage in this team. That's kind of as expected. And then also this in this situation, it just kind of gave you guys a glimpse of the healing capability. I think Rudolph specifically, it's just a little bit more annoying to fight against because he does have those lightning discharge on the floor. So if we're not healing fast enough, we just die. And he also does emit heat. I think it's one of his unique gimmicks. So you guys can see that our HP bar is just leaking. Like it's not really going up. So that's really unfortunate. Low holes like 3-star investment gives healing, but I just wish it's a little bit faster. In this specific comps, we're not really using too much of the upper counter, so we should heal more. But you guys can see that we're gonna die right here actually. But good thing we did die within after we beat the boss, so that's great. But other than that, I think this team overall is a fun team to fight with, just using 3 different elements, and they all have their own unique gimmicks. I think this team is actually pretty good for new players, but any harder content, this team does require high star investment, because other than that, this team will just literally die. So other than that, that's going to be pretty much it for me as far as trying out the 3.0 weapons on a single team.